今天您将收看的是
第22届上海国际电影节期间，刚刚凭借《小小乔》摘得戛纳桂冠的艾米丽·比查姆现身沪上，给上海影迷带来了一场关于表演与日常的大师班。
大家好，观众朋友们，您现在看到的是今晚我们看电影。2019上海国际电影节上，来自英国的著名影星艾米丽·比查姆引起了广大影迷的关注。同样在2019年，她因影片《小小乔》获得了最佳女演员奖。那在今天的节目当中，我们一起来感受一下艾米丽·比查姆的荧屏上的魅力。
艾米丽·比查姆，英国影视女演员，1984年5月出生于英国曼彻斯特，2003年开始就读于伦敦音乐与戏剧艺术学院，随即进入演艺圈。
Because I had a theatre training, LAMDA, London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, was a theatre training, really. We did a tiny bit of film, but not really at the time. So I was learning on the job. When I first started going to film auditions, I was told that I was too big. I was acting too big, like my style of acting was too large. Because I was used to projecting and being moving, and so I learnt how to move a little less and to be quieter and to talk more. So yeah, it's a very, very different thing to do entirely. With the theatre, the first conflict I had personally with it was that in theatre you do it in sequential order. So you do it from the beginning of the play to the end, and it's all in the right. So you have this journey. It's like doing a big old sprint. So you have the momentum of the whole thing. Whereas in film, it's out of order. So you'll do an ending. You'll do a death scene at the end, right at the beginning, and then you'll do this. And it's like a puzzle. So you have to work. Other actors taught me how to write down charts of where you are, where your character is on each scene, where they are emotionally. And now I've worked a good system for myself, and I feel more confident.
Carol! No! Dad!
由艾米丽·比查姆领衔主演的科幻剧情片《小小乔》于2019年5月17日在戛纳电影节首映。该片由奥地利导演杰西卡·豪斯纳执导，讲述了一家植物培育公司开发出一种能影响人类情绪的花朵。开发员爱丽丝偷偷带了一株回家给自己的儿子乔，并将它取名为小小乔。
Hi, little Joe.
但随着花朵逐渐长大，可怕的影响也随之产生。凭借《小小乔》中的角色爱丽丝，35岁的艾米丽·比查姆斩获了第72届戛纳国际电影节主竞赛单元最佳女演员奖，成为该电影节历史上第3位获此殊荣的英国女性。
Yeah, it was completely surprising. I was at home in UK, and then I got a phone call. I turned my phone on at about 10 a.m. and I had all these missed calls and all the producers saying, you have to call me now, call me now. So I was like, oh, this is funny, what's going on? And then I called them and I said, you have to get to an airport as quick as possible because there's a ceremony tonight at 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. and you may, hint, you might get something. I think they want you to be there for a purpose. So I had to rush to the nearest airport and catch the first plane. If I didn't catch that plane, I don't think I would have made it. So then from the airport, Chanel had offered to dress me for the event, and they had a motorbike and a car, and it was the fastest journey I've ever been on in my life. I'm sure it was really illegal. I shouldn't say that, but it was so fast and blocking traffic. The motorbike was blocking traffic on the way, and me and the producer were sitting in the back going, oh my God. And then put the clothes on, went to the ceremony, accepted the award, really shocked.
Thank you, Jessica Hausner, for choosing me to be a part of your really special film. It was such an honor. Thank you so much.
Our aim was to create a plant that has to be watered regularly, protected from cold and heat, that wants to be touched and talked to.
Sounds like hard work.
Precisely, and in return the plant emits a scent which promotes happiness as a reward for all that effort.
Moreover, the scent contains a precursor for the human hormone oxytocin, and your body uses this molecule to produce oxytocin when the scent is inhaled.
Oxytocin?
It's sometimes called the mother hormone. It's supposed to initiate the bond between a mother and her newborn.
You'll love this plant like your own child.
It's a really complicated lead female role, and that's a dream really, because they don't come around very often. Yeah, the character definitely has much conflict, and she's not perfect at all. Well, she believes what she's doing is very important, and she can be quite cold. She's definitely afraid of intimacy, and definitely afraid of not having control in her relationships. So she doesn't, when Ben Whishal's character Chris is pursuing her, trying to be romantic with her, it's out of her comfort zone.
Would you... How about a drink after work?
No, I have to run.
And also her son, children are so unpredictable, you can't control. They are a human being with their own desires, so I think it's much conflict with the strict parameters of her own life. She has such a strict long schedule, and she's often letting him down, so there is that whole guilt and paranoia, and that is feeding into the whole thing, which is adding to her confusion and her self-doubt, especially when the little Joe idea that little Joe is changing people's minds, and her concern about that, it all adds to this whole pot of confusion and conflict in herself. So I liked the idea, and I think you can relate to every character. If you hopefully try to be empathetic, you can relate to every character.
See? I knew you'd say that. This is how you will get rid of me. It's your own fault. Come on, we're going.
Wait, please. Joe! Please!
Let go! You're hurting me!
It was Jessica's work. I really wanted to work with her. I love her style and her taste. She's got a really incredible mind. Jessica's got such an amazing imagination. She's very smart and provocative, and she's got there's quite a black humour in some of her films. I really love that. Jessica's got such brilliant ideas, and you just can't predict where it's going to go. So you have to always have that conversation and try to help her make the film that she wants to make, and try to do your best to give her what she's explaining. And definitely, I think Jessica and I both really care about our work, and it's very fascinating to us. So that's something to relate to. And
I believe that those who are infected, they change in a nearly imperceptible way. They actually feel happy, but it cannot be compared to the sort of happiness that we wanted to create. And the consequences that we're facing here, they could be disastrous.
Could they?
Well, wouldn't it be terrible if people lost their genuine feelings and only pretended to be the same as before, but they weren't, because actually they had stopped caring about anybody else but the plant?
As long as they're happy. I was joking.
We can't take any risks here. We must have the whole genome sequenced.
yes, that was a challenge too as an actor, because obviously you get onto the set and it's all really larger than life. It's very neon colours, and the story is really eccentric as well. And the characters, they behave in very funny ways and very selfish ways, a lot of the characters. It's quite humorous. But then Jessica's style, which I love, all the acting in her films are all so good. They're really naturalistic, really like natural. And even if the story's quite ethereal or otherworldly, their performances are very based in sort of truth between each other. There's always a good relationship between the characters.
But then again, there were also moments. There is a deliberate artificial, yeah, in the film, which is also great. I think personally, I think a bit like a Wes Anderson. Sometimes Wes Anderson does that, where it's kind of almost cartoony aesthetic, and then the acting's quite played down, but sometimes it goes a bit off centre. So it's fun to play around with, and it's also risk because you don't know how your performance is going to come across. But obviously, I trust that Jessica, because I know she's so great, so it was fine.
I have some news that I wouldn't want to keep from you. Little Joe has been nominated for the European Herb and Health Award. Little Joe will make the world a little happier.
To us.
To Team Woodard.
To you.
To little Joe.
Little Joe.
在小小乔之前，艾米丽·比查姆因出演《凯撒万岁》《惊变28周》等电影作品被观众熟知。2017年，艾米丽·比查姆在独立电影《达芙妮》中担纲主演。片中讲述了年轻女性达芙妮在目睹一场武装抢劫后，开始重新考虑自己忙碌生活的故事。艾米丽·比查姆凭借这部作品获得第20届英国独立电影奖最佳女主角奖提名。
I think she was a very real and modern representation of what women are going through, especially at the character's age. That character was 30, 31. Yeah, and the amount of people that... It was really rewarding because the amount of people who came up to us saying, that's me, or like that. And so I think Daphne was a very unisex character. She could be a man or a woman. And that's why she was a really special role, because there aren't many roles like that. And it didn't matter, I didn't have to wear makeup. I mean, she was messy, I think Fleabag's a really good example, and Ladybird. And they're women who other women go, that's me, finally. She's smart and she's funny and she's angry and she's scared and confused and she doesn't know where her life's going to go, because who knows where your life is going to go. As typically are in films, it's good, more balanced.
艾米丽·比查姆与中国的渊源早在电视剧领域埋下伏笔。2015年，艾米丽·比查姆参演了被称作美国版《西游记》的动作美剧《荒原》。该剧改编自中国4大名著之一《西游记》，讲述了在一个被封建伯爵统治的国度里，一位伟大的战士和一个小男孩携手踏上旅程，克服重重危机，寻找理想极乐世界的故事。剧中，他与吴彦祖搭档，饰演燕寡妇一角。
He was lovely. He was also an executive producer, and so was Stephen Fung. And they guided us through a lot of the martial arts, which was a first time for me, because they are so experienced. They're also both really good fighters themselves, and good actors, both of them. So they always supported us and made sure we were doing the right things and protecting our bodies and staying strong, eating the right things, doing the right exercises, seeing physios, because it was very demanding physically. Yeah, it was great. I loved working with them both. Well, when I first auditioned for it, she was a really exciting role. I think there was quite a bit of excitement about the auditions for the Widow, because she was described in this quite gothic, quite otherworldly way, and she also got the opportunity to fight a lot, and she was also a leader, and so she had a lot of interesting elements that would be really fun to play. So I had in my mind, this vision of who I wanted her to be, because she was very manipulative as well, and that was quite fun to play with. And then as the series went on, I think they explored more her vulnerable side, So that's the benefit of being on a long-running series, is that they get to know you, and they get to see how the audience respond to the character. And I think the audiences quite liked the widow, and so I think they wanted to see more of her personality come out and play with that. Actually, she's really vulnerable, and maybe she might have a romantic relationship someday, and maybe she won't. But so I think she remained really mysterious for the first and second season, and then the third season I think they wanted to open up more of her secrets. So she became quite interesting, lots of sides to her and conflict.
2019年第22届上海国际电影节期间，刚刚凭借《小小乔》摘得戛纳桂冠的艾米丽·比查姆现身沪上，与中国观众们见面，并携手柏林国际电影节银熊奖新晋影后咏梅，给上海影迷带来了一场关于表演与日常的大师班。
Well, I hope that it brings even more interest to Little Joe, which I think it has. That we thought it hopefully would be come across what people would enjoy it here. Yeah, and to also see gauge people's reactions, what they like and what they're confused by, or what they love about the film. It's nice to talk to different people about what impression the film gives them, because everybody has such a different reaction to films. So it's nice to get the general vibe of what people are feeling about it. It's quite inspiring because I like her a lot, and I think that we have a lot of common feelings, shared feelings on things. So it's nice to know that you share these feelings with people who you revere and you respect. It's a really nice opportunity to actually have a conversation with an actor. You have such shared experience of the highs and the lows and the conflicts and the brilliant things about acting. And I think I also feel a little bit of responsibility for other actors who are new to the industry or who are younger, because it is a difficult job, and I think a lot of actors are very vulnerable. They're in a vulnerable position, and you're opening yourself up, you have to be emotional, and you also have to walk into rooms and get jobs, and you're having interviews every day, and then after you finish a job, you don't have a job, and you have to get another one. So it takes a lot of mental positivity and focus, and you have to always do it for the right reasons. So it's really nice talking to her, and hopefully talking to other actors who were the younger version of myself, and because I've massively benefited from people giving me advice and helping me out. You have to build your experience, and you have to be okay to fail and make bad decisions, because that's also a massive learning experience. You know, it's just really valuable to get comfortable in front of the camera and to enjoy it, and never worry about how you're coming across. Just as long as it's authentic and coming from the right place, then hopefully it will be good. And yeah, try to work with the right people, but also know that it takes time. But eventually just don't put pressure on yourself, and be patient and enjoy life and experience life, because that is your acting tools as well. If you don't live your life, you can't really play many characters and embrace the highs and lows of life, because it's all really valuable, the good things and the bad things that come with life, and it enables you to relate to the characters and empathize with the characters, and so embrace that. And sometimes people, you know, like Olivia Colman, or you know, she had a really great acting career, I think, when she turned 40, and people experience it at different ages. So some people get like really great opportunities at different ages, and you're not psychic, you can't predict what's going to happen. So be grateful for every day, enjoy every day, and try to gain experience from it all. And sometimes amazing things happen out of the blue, like Cannes. I never would have predicted that happened, and then suddenly one day that happened. So you have to kind of look after yourself, because it is like a bit of a roller coaster. You never quite know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Good night, little Joe.
好，以上就是今天节目的全部内容，非常感谢各位的收看，让我们下一次再见。
下期您将收看的是百年艺术风范，对话古今传奇。今晚让我们穿梭岁月，踏上时尚探索之旅。